Shiloh where it felt like you kind of were just finishing your block through the play, and he just felt some sort of way about it.
Yeah, something on the backside of screens we preach is the guy on the backside is making the touchdown block. I was just chasing the far deep TB and trying to finish through the whistle, and he had a little bit more to say.
Did you say to him, you're too small?
I didn't say anything. I may have gestured something, but if you get mad for getting blocked, I can't really control what he does.
Eric Dickerson just pulled the curtain back and dropped a bomb about Shedeur Sanders getting cut by the Buccaneers. And if his words are true, then the NFL's dirty playbook is finally starting to make sense. Within the same week, both of Deion Sanders' sons went from promising headlines to nightmare stories. Shiloh? He got tossed out of a preseason game after swinging on another player. Wild moment. But the real shocker? Less than 24 hours later, the Bucs didn't even think twice. They waived him. Meanwhile, Shedeur had his own disaster. In one ugly half, he got sacked 5 times, looked helpless, and ended up benched. And if that wasn't enough humiliation, the media's now blasting out a narrative that Shedeur doesn't even belong on the roster. To the casual eye, it might look like 2 young players simply struggling to handle the NFL grind. But Eric Dickerson swears it's something much bigger brewing behind the curtains. He's saying the league wanted this. According to him, the NFL is out here blackballing the Sanders family on purpose because they can't stand the way Coach Prime carries himself, talks his talk, and shakes up the system. And honestly, if you've watched football long enough, this isn't shocking. It fits a pattern. We've seen players frozen out just for refusing to fall in line.
Have been pick number 144. It's a subtle repudiation of the attitude that teams have when the draft rolls around.
Yeah.
That the players should all line up and bow down to the statue of the NFL draft.
Yep.
We're going to deify the draft because how dare you treat the process other than your lips on our ass. If you dare deviate from the process of your lips on our ass, you will pay for it. Even if it hurts us, because collectively and individually, we ignore the talent to send you a message. So others will know when the time comes for the pre-draft process. Take your lips and put them on our ass. Because that's why he felt. He treated it like he was being recruited, not like he was being interviewed. Well, sucks for the teams that allowed that to keep them from drafting a guy who clearly is more talented than pick number 144.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's talent.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Sure.
People allowed all that other stuff to get in the way of the talent, and they want to send this kid a message because they don't want people to have power. So many of the threads, Chris, of all the stuff we're seeing now in the NFL is about power and about showing power to the players. The teams have the power. The league has the power. The players don't. When they try to show it, they're getting screwed.
We've heard the inmates running the prison comments before. We've seen the same plantation-style energy from the league over and over again. So now the real question becomes, what actually went down with Shiloh? What's really happening with Shedeur? And why did Eric Dickerson feel bold enough to call out the league's ugly truth? Let's start with Shiloh. This man was literally just 24 hours away from living the dream. His first regular season snap in the NFL, the moment every player grinds for. And just like that, it all went up in smoke after one preseason clash. Shedeur Sanders squared up with Bills tight end Zach Davidson after the whistle, and cameras caught Zach straight up yanking Shiloh's face mask. Now, that right there should have been flagged instantly or broken up by the ref, but instead of calling it fair, the ref let it slide. And Shiloh snapped, throwing a punch. The second his fist flew, Zach flipped into victim mode like he was innocent, and the refs ate it up. Let's be real. Fights happen all the time in preseason, practices, even joint workouts. Normally, you see a fine, maybe a short suspension, and everyone moves on. But Shiloh? He got slapped with something way harsher. Within 24 hours, Tampa Bay showed him the door. No second chance, no warning, just waved like trash.
I know you can't throw punches in this league. I mean, that's inexcusable. They're gonna get you every time. Got to grow from that.
And then what did you say to the officials after that? It looked like you were possibly trying to argue with them.
We're talking about another play.
And here's the wildest part. Bucks head coach Todd Bowles didn't even try to back his player. After Tampa's 23-19 loss, he brushed it off, calling Shiloh's actions inexcusable. That's all he had to say. Not a single word about Zach Davidson being the one who started it. No mention of Zach grabbing the face mask. No acknowledgement of the dirty play that triggered the whole mess. And this ain't Shiloh's first time catching a raw deal. Back at Colorado, he got ejected for targeting on a hit that most fans agreed was a garbage call. Now in the NFL, one preseason scuffle where he was clearly provoked, and suddenly he's blacklisted? Meanwhile, Zach Davidson didn't even get flagged. He kept playing like nothing happened, and then had the nerve to deny provoking Shiloh at all, claiming Shiloh just got mad for getting blocked. Even the way reporters framed it was shady. They asked Zach about it like he was some poor victim and had no role in the drama. The bias is so obvious, it's ridiculous. You don't even have to be a Shedeur Sanders fan to see how unfair this is. Knowing all this, it's no wonder fans are flat out convinced the NFL is sabotaging Shiloh on purpose, because none of it adds up. One fan on X spelled it out, saying, "Clearly a setup." The players were told to bait him. The refs were told to wait for it. The ref watched the whole thing and only threw the flag once there was retaliation. Another fan jumped in with, "The league is conspiring against that family." And honestly, when you stack the receipts, it's hard not to see where they're coming from. And it doesn't stop with Shiloh. Just look at how Shedeur got played days earlier. In the Browns' preseason game against the Rams, Shedeur had the perfect shot to prove himself. 2 minutes left, game on the line, a chance to show that clutch DNA. But right when the spotlight was his, Coach Kevin Stefanski pulled him out and tossed in Tyler Huntley instead. Fans went crazy, calling it sabotage and saying the NFL has already decided the Sanders boys don't deserve a fair shake. One furious fan didn't hold back, blasting, "Kevin Stefanski has pledged allegiance to Jim Crow just to prove Shedeur Sanders doesn't belong." Stefanski's KKK energy is loud right now. Another begged Shedeur to escape, posting, "They decided long before the draft. Go to a better team, Sanders. Please heavy accusations, sure, but it shows just how deep the distrust runs." And this is where Eric Dickerson's bombshell takes it all to another level. He claimed flat out that an NFL insider told him the league warned teams not to draft Shedeur at all, not because of talent, but because they wanted to send a message. Imagine that, punishing a player just to make the whole Sanders family bend. And the whispers aren't new either. Mike Florio already hinted the league wanted to humble Shedeur just because he refused to bow down and play their game. That's not football politics. That's a straight-up punishment move. Now, sure, not everyone buys into the conspiracy, but with evidence like this stacking higher and higher, the picture is looking loud and clear. Now, of course, not everybody's buying into Eric Dickerson's bombshell. Critics were quick to fire back, pointing out that Dickerson has his own messy history with the NFL, so maybe his shots are more about grudges than gospel. And plenty of people are saying it plain. There's no conspiracy, no secret plot. Shedeur just wasn't good enough to begin with. Daniel Kelly, a former Jets scout, came swinging with receipts. On X, he posted Shedeur's pre-draft scouting report and doubled down on his brutal verdict. Kelly wrote, "I did the work on Shedeur Sanders pre-draft. I put an undrafted free agent grade on him. Bottom line, he wasn't good enough, and he's not good enough. He didn't show the skill set or the mindset that's needed to transition to the NFL and be successful at quarterback. He hit his ceiling at Colorado." That's a vicious breakdown, but Kelly wasn't done dragging him. He flat out called Shedeur the most hesitant quarterback I've ever evaluated and accused him of carrying more character red flags than any prospect I've ever looked at. His report spelled out every flaw: hesitant under pressure, fumbling snaps, staring down receivers, shaky vision of the field, and flat out struggling to process the game fast enough. Sure, Kelly admitted Shedeur was tough and athletic, but in his eyes, the ceiling was already hit before the draft even happened. Still, even with Kelly dropping that kind of harsh analysis, plenty of fans are refusing to believe this is just about talent. To them, it feels deeper, like the NFL is working overtime to humble Deion Sanders' sons for daring to stand tall, know their worth, and refuse to bow. One fan, a Black Marine Corps veteran and single father from the South, summed it up perfectly when he posted, "For me, this is a tale as old as time." That line hit hard because it connected the dots beyond football, suggesting Shedeur and Shiloh are being punished not just for mistakes on the field, but for who they are and what they represent. This runs deeper than football. It's a reflection of something much bigger. For generations in America, too many people have had a problem with strong Black fathers showing up for their kids, teaching them confidence, and raising them to see themselves as equals. And when you look at how the NFL is moving right now, it's hard not to see the signs of bias all over again. The microaggressions, the unfair treatment, the blind spots that somehow always land on players like the Sanders brothers. This isn't some brand new story either. History has already shown us how often powerful systems try to put people back in their place. And sadly, it looks like the same old playbook is being used right now. Accountability? It would be nice. But let's be real, I'm not holding my breath for the NFL to suddenly change its stripes. The bright side? Deion Sanders isn't letting this shake him. When reporters asked about Shiloh getting waived, Deion said flat out he wasn't worried because his sons will be good regardless. NFL or no NFL. That confidence, that faith in their future, shows you exactly why the league might feel threatened by the Sanders family in the first place. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think the NFL is really setting up the Sanders boys just because they won't bow down? Or is it because the league secretly knows it needs the Sanders name more than the Sanders need the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.